there? Is there a dog? Is he alone? Is he at the airport? Is he on a fucking bus? Is he on the plane? Is there a clicking noise? There's probably a clicking noise. Is this a clip show? I don't know if it's a clip show. It's a fucking show. Just listen, goddammit.
Hey, what's happening, Mike Schmidt, 40-year-old boy podcast. I'm on the internet. Did you guys know that? My voice is certainly, that's where you're finding me. You're hearing this on the internet, unless you're hearing it, I will tell you this. Are you calling occupants of interplanetary craft? Maybe you're hearing me there. Are you on an interplanetary craft? Is that where you're hearing me? Perhaps you're skating by in your Death Star and picking up the waves of my voice and going, you know what? I like hearing this a lot more than I hear that droid going, whatever the fuck. I can't even do an R2-D2 into the microphone. I can whistle, sort of. I can do more of a Chewbacca than a Star. We've covered that. You guys, anybody who's been listening to the show for a long time knows my Chewbacca is stellar, if not interstellar. Holy God, I did a space joke. That was me making the Prince noise with my mouth. So here, let's deal with time and space right now. We were just dealing with space, weren't we? We were just dealing with space, and now I'm going to move on to time. An abstract concept, certainly. And I also found out recently, Prince did not believe in time. Did you know that?
No.
I literally found that out. Prince does not believe in time. Well, he didn't anyway. But someone said to him, how do you look so young? And he goes, because I don't believe in time. And they're like, what? And he goes, yeah, just I don't count days or minutes or any of that. It just ages you. So I'm just me. Fucking Prince. And he is funky. I know we're talking about Prince now, but we talked about Prince last week, but it is still this week. Does that make sense? Probably not to any of you people. In tribute to Prince, who did not keep track of time, I'm doing 2 shows in a week, so I had to do that. So Monday night, the other night, I did a show with Dave, which was the Prince show, which was last week, which was episode 1999, year 8. Unless I was dreaming when we did that show, forgive me if I go astray. When I woke up this morning, I could have sworn it was Wednesday, and it is. And here's Lily Von Stupp right now in my living room as we record episode 51 for next week. And a lot of you are like, well, that just seems like cheating. That just seems like, why would you do something like that? Well, it's because, first of all, I like to record with my good friend Lily, and I happen to be in Wisconsin. Look at you shaking your little fists like a cat in a fight.
Why is it cheating if you're recording with me?
Well, because these shows are supposed to be evergreen. Well, it's not that recording with you is cheating. It's doing 2 in a week or doing.
These shows are not evergreen.
Because what if something cool happens?
Sensitive.
What if something cool happens to me this Friday, and then next week we run this show in its stead, and I don't even get to address that fact? It's like this weird backlog.
Then it will be like telling a story from your childhood. Time is irrelevant in podcasts, much like with Prince.
Us and them. Haha, time.
Time after time.
Time. Oh. Lying in my bed, I hear the clock tick and almost die. That's a story Lily Von Stupp just told me, as a matter of fact. We were going through that. We were talking almost died stories as she videotaped me sitting at the desk with my phone in my hand. I'm getting a little tired of the people involved in this show taking pictures or videos of me with my phone in my hand, because then everybody thinks I got my phone in my hand, but in reality, you guys got your phone in your hands while you're recording me, motherfuckers. Because Dave took a selfie of me in his studio as we did interlude nonsense the other day when we did episode 1999. We also had to do interlude stuff, and then he took a photo without telling me, and I'm in the background on my phone, and he's made that like a theme that I'm always on my fucking phone, and I'm really not. I mean, I'm doing stuff, and he's on his phone a lot, and
I think he sets you up. I think he picks up his phone, puts it on the camera, and then pretends like he's busy, and so you're like, oh, I'll check my email then, or the sports, and then you pull it up and you check it, and he takes a picture of you, and he goes, gotcha!
Actually, he takes his phone, and he puts it on the camera, and he takes a selfie, and I don't think anything of it, because he takes so many fucking selfies that it doesn't really disturb me in any way. I'm just thinking, oh, he's just doing that thing where he takes a selfie of himself. But then I'm in the background lurking on my phone, and he's like, ha, look at Mike doing that thing where he checks his phone. It's like, yeah, like everyone in America or on the planet, everyone on this orb, everyone on the big blue marble, everyone who goes ahead and does anything they want on a subway, get on a subway train. Dude, I was watching the fucking Springsteen tribute to Prince. Look, we talked about a bunch of Prince stuff with Dave on Monday, but you know what? It's still that week. It's still Wednesday, and I haven't been able to talk to Lily about it. So
it's still going to be Prince the rest of my life.
Well, yeah, me too. I mean, so that's the thing is I don't know if it's going to be, it's never going to fade.
It's never going to end.
But as I see more things, I can talk about them more often. And so I saw the Springsteen tribute to Prince, which Lily was not, she didn't want to see, because Lily is, she's a purist. She's like, I don't need to see any tributes to the man. I want to watch the man himself. And I totally get that.
I'm not ready for any of that. No.
Well, sure, I understand. And because she's a hair trigger at this point. We talked earlier, and there's been tears here, folks. I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I read the Paul Westerberg account of Prince, and it's funny, there's a part in the story where Paul Westerberg goes, now I'm going to cry. And literally, I teared up and went to cry. Yeah, because it's still it's a terrible thing. And then you see, you watch any of the tributes of the videos and things like that I see, even seeing Springsteen walk out bathed in purple light and then opening the concert with Purple Rain. And even though he did a Froggy Comes a Courtin' version of Purple Rain, which is just because that's who he is.
Not gonna lie, not a fan. Heard the first 5 words and went, yeah.
Well, that's you. Well, because what's funny?
I'm
It's
not
because
a Springsteen fan.
True.
I like Springsteen, not my.
I love Springsteen, and it does have a rough beginning, but I mean, this is a dude who might have learned that song that fucking day and then came out and did it.
Then why are you doing it?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's the beginning that's rough, but there's 7 minutes of it, and
don't care.
Nah, you're wrong.
No, I am one of those where it's like, if you don't already know it, don't go do a tribute about it.
Well, this is the thing. He doesn't have a prompter. He doesn't have a list. He knows the words. He knows the fucking song, and the band knows the song, and then Nils Lofgren destroys the solo. I mean, just fucking crushes it. It's so good.
Is he a genius?
Nils Lofgren? What are you trying to say?
Maybe he should write it down. You made me laugh so hard with that quote.
I love that quote. There's a quote from Prince, and he's talking to the keyboardist from the New Power Generation. And Prince says to the guy, because the guy says, we didn't just learn one song. Prince made us learn, because in the tribute show, and I'm going to reference that quite a bit, because then we just recorded it 2 days ago. Prince is referenced. I referenced the fact that Prince would stop on a dime. He would put his hand up in the air, and he had the band so fucking whipcord tight that they would follow him everywhere and anywhere he went. And that was every band. It wasn't just the Revolution. It was also the New Power Generation. It was Third Eye Girl. It was all of them knew exactly what he fucking wanted from them. So he tells the story, the guy from the New Power Generation. He says, you know what? We learned not just one song, we learned a string of songs. And then the next day I'd come in and I was supposed to know all this shit, and I wouldn't keep up. Like I'd forget something. So one day Prince pulls him aside and he goes, Morris, are you a genius? And Morris goes, no. He goes, then write it down. I am a genius. I got 1 million of them and I remember. But if you're not a genius, you need to write it down.
I love that.
It's the fucking greatest. It's just the big dickest quote of all time. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, I'm the man here. I run the fucking show, and I have full and utter confidence in myself and my abilities. So you, unfortunately, I love you and you're in the band, but if you're gonna keep up, you better fucking keep up.
I expect that of anyone. I'm like, if anybody can't keep up with me, write it down. I can't keep up with the people. I have to write it down. I think that's your job.
You know what's funny is I texted that quote to Dave today, and he just went, dude, I say this shit all the time. I still have to write some stuff down, though. And I'm just like, of course. I mean, because we all have that going on. Because everyone has their own little pockets of genius.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I used to have a set list. I'm not used to, but I still do. I'll bring it's a weird crutch. I'll bring a pad of paper on stage with me, even though I don't look at it. I'll just... because I talk and I do whatever I'm going to do. When I first started doing the Success Is Not an Option tours, I actually get my balls busted because I would take selfies backstage, and I would have like my pad of paper, my bottle of Propel. I was in the green room, and people would zoom in on the set list and they would see what I wrote, and I literally would write every show, "Hi, I'm Mike." On the Success Is Not an Option set list. It was only a training exercise to get me to go, "Hi, I'm Mike," and all the things I was going to say, and Adderall, and where we were going to go with that. But it was cathartic for me, and it felt good, and there was joy in repetition, if I may say so myself. So I mean, I was able to do it, and I would make it happen. I would every show. I still have them in the fucking pad of paper. Pittsburgh. I have the time I performed, the date, and Indianapolis, and all the shows, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, everywhere I was. I still have the set list written down, except for the shows where part of the Kickstarter reward was the actual set list. So I would tear it out and I would sign it. And I think Andrew Bennett has one. For Boston, other people have them for other cities, that sort of thing. So, but otherwise, I have every set list from all of the Success Is Not an Option shows, and then even the truncated ones, which is fucking weird. But then, because I'm a lazy fuck, like you can see, the Pittsburgh set list is literally like just 6 words because I just was like, just get up there and work around your framework.
But it's not lazy. It's that you now lived in the stories that were...
No, Pittsburgh was not Success Is Not an Option. That was just, I I didn't do any work. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I knew what I was going to do, but then I did that thing because I wrote that day about all the stuff that had gone on when I was traveling,
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure what the bulk of the show would be, and it wound up being about me and Jill traveling together. So I mean, I made it happen that way, but I never sat down and just went, oh, okay, we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that. So the set list is actually, I think, 5 words or something like that, and well, talk for 20 minutes about that. Talk for 20 minutes about that, talk for 20 minutes about that sort of thing. And it's just, it's a disservice to me, certainly, and like I've talked about with 2020, I talked about it with Shannon too, because I have no work ethic at all. I mean, none. And she's like, we need to explore that. And I'm like, yeah, we probably do, but that would probably be work. Not interested. Why am I going to get to the bottom of anything? It makes no sense. Let's stay on the surface. Let's make sure. You know who I am? I'm the crunchy part of the creme brulee. Nobody wants to dive to the bottom of the cup. Don't crack me. That's all I got to say to you. I'm the crunchy part. I'm the good part. I'm brulee. That's who I am. I'm Mike Brulee. This is the 40-year-old brulee. That's what we are. I'm just the crunchy part on the top. Let's not dive down into the fucking squishy part. Nobody wants to see that. I'm all surface. I'm all hard. But then when we get underneath there, fuck that. Nobody wants to see that. So I was talking to Shannon about how I have no work ethic and I don't do anything. And she's like, well, why do you think? And I'm learning stuff. She's just kind of like, well, why don't you think that? And we talk about stuff from being a kid. And she's just like, because I mean, literally in school, I never had to bring homework home. Like I brought homework home. I don't think my mom ever went, did you do your homework? Like never. It's funny when I'm with Jill and Kale, she'll say to Kale, did you do your homework? Did you do your homework? And he's just like, yeah. Or I'm doing it now. I'm writing a paper now. And she's like, all right, you got to get that done. And she's kind of on him about it. My mom she never once said, literally never once said, did you do your homework? I'm in my entire life. And so Shannon's like, well, don't you understand that was, that's where you get taught your discipline and you get taught the way to do things. And you get taught, when someone's kind of after you to do what you're supposed to do. And that's why I have problems now, because Jill will go, hey, you need to do that. And I turn into 8-year-old me and I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Meh. You know what I mean? It's like this fucking, she'll say book a show, or you should look into shows, or what are you doing? Are you driving? Are you doing those things? And I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'll drive. Okay, fine, whatever. And she's like, I didn't mean it like that. I'm asking you a question and seeing what you're doing. And you're staring at me. Why are you staring at me? Because I'm talking in fucking circles.
I'm not your therapist. You're looking at me as though I am.
You're not?
No.
On certain days you are.
Yes.
That's why you divorced yourself from the show. You're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not getting paid nearly enough.
Myself. You said you wanted to take over. I taught you how to do it, and then you didn't do it.
That's why you left. Well, no, I didn't.
You don't do the work. I just found out you don't do the work.
Well, I do the work, but I do it in a different way.
It makes sense why sometimes the shows are a little weird, and I'm like, well, that seems weird.
Let's address all of this while we're talking about it. People out there have written me and they're like, dude, you got to turn your levels up, man. You got to turn the sound up on the show. And I've addressed that talking to you guys, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I think it's the microphone, or it's this. I have no idea what the input is. And so I fired up the old machine here with Lily here, and I said, look, man, the blue lines are like totally small. Like even when I'm talking right into the microphone, I'm eating it, and it's because the microphone went down to like 0.38. And she goes, well, turn it up to like 0.67. And I did, well, then it jumps out of the fucking screen. And she goes, well, yeah, but then you got to normalize it. I go, but I do normalize it, and everybody complains. And she goes, well, you got to grab it and make it, make that chunk smaller. And I go, well, I just normalize all the tracks. She said, what do you mean? I said, I highlight all of the tracks and I normalize them. She goes, yeah, but all that does is any peak parts, it makes them normal, but then all the other parts, it makes them small. Like that's why people are fucking not being able to hear you, is because you're making the entire track sound different by making it, you're
taking the level down of everything.
Yeah.
So your soft part is getting even softer. It doesn't.
I don't want that to happen. Believe me, I don't want that to happen.
That's not an equalizer. That's a normalize where you can bring a section down out of being overdriven.
Right.
You thought you could just do the whole thing.
Well, no, I can do the whole thing.
4 hours of work that it takes to actually produce a podcast.
Well, no, I did the work that it takes to produce the podcast. I edit the show, put it all together. I put it up on the internet. I do it. I normalize the tracks the way they're supposed to be normalized,
No,
but
you don't.
Well, but not the way you do it. See, that's the thing. So, I think what you're trying to say here is that you should be the one doing this. All right, sounds good. I'll go ahead and record, and then I'll send you the unfinished raw Audacity, and then you go in and you normalize it all. That'd be pretty cool, right?
You said you wanted to do it. Do it.
I didn't say I wanted to do it. I said it just.
Have you done your homework yet?
Nobody's ever asked me that. Nobody.
I just did, and I'm gonna start calling you on Wednesday afternoons and go, did you do the homework?
Well, because we're supposed to record on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Oh, that's why we're calling Wednesday, because today is actually Wednesday.
Yes.
Because I did a show on Monday.
And you'll say to me, it's all edited, but I didn't normalize it yet. And I'll go, do the homework. Do the work. Hashtag do the work.
I think we actually Do Your Job was one we had a few weeks ago. We had Do Your Job was the thing because and so I guess I should do my job. I should go in and normalize but that takes so fucking long, dude. Like, I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I know. It would take 12 to 14 hours for me to produce a podcast.
Are you counting recording time?
Showed up, and then we recorded, and then I did all the work afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I kind of am doing that.
No, you're not. Not if you're not doing all the normalization by hand.
By hand? Wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Yes, you have to go in and you have to grab the peak points and bring them down.
Folks, you don't listen to the show for this kind of content. You don't tune in to find out why I'm not doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing to make the show different. You know, actually, this is the part that we should actually make softer so nobody hears it. We're going to go ahead and turn this way down so nobody hears the fact that I haven't done exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So Lily's here now and she's yelling at me and telling me things that I should do. It seems a lot like you're yelling.
No, if I were yelling, I'd be yelling. Right now, I'm just going, you're not doing the work. I'm facting. I'm not yelling.
Nobody wants facting. What is facting?
I'm giving you facting.
I don't care for your
People
facting.
don't like facting.
No.
People don't like actual facts.
No, not at all. No, fuck that. I mean, nobody wants to hear facts. Why would you listen to the show if you wanted to hear goddamn facts? Certainly about me fucking doing the show wrong or right or whatever. So I guess all the people out there who've written me and you're like, hey, dude, turn the sound up or whatever the fuck. I've now learned what the reason is why it's my fault. Here's the thing. It's my fault, folks. That should have been the name of this fucking show. Was It's My Fault. Who was I talking to the other day? I was saying something about, I was talking to Jill and I was like, because she was talking about how this country has just gone to hell, like because nobody takes any responsibility and these young people don't, because she saw a billboard and on the billboard it was written in text language, the letter U, the letter N, you and me are, like that sort of thing, and it was written and she said that's how lazy and terrible it is, and it's so funny because it's that weird line where you're like an old person, but also I recognize that she's right in a certain way, but it's because that's unfortunately what you have to do now to reach that sort of age group of people. And because I told her, I go, you know what, I go read stuff online and someone will misspell or they'll use it in the wrong context and people will fuck up and someone will call them on it and they'll go, okay, grandpa, I guess spelling matters to you. Yes, fucking spelling matters to everyone on the planet, motherfucker. That's the whole point. You know who, you think Shakespeare is just like, forsooth, who gives a fuck? No, he did not. Shakespeare cared. Noah Webster fucking cared. Roget cared. All these motherfuckers cared. You're goddamn right I do. I don't fuck around with just Webster's dictionary. That's Noah, motherfucker. You think that little black kid wrote the fucking dictionary? He didn't, for fuck's sake. You think he sat down with Alex Karras and he went, hey, what does kumquat mean? No, he didn't do that. And the other the lady, I don't know who the fuck she was, every nondescript fucking 80s mom in a sitcom, for fuck's sake.
You know who doesn't care about spelling that?
Who's that?
Prince. Because I would die for you.
Well, yeah, and you, I love you in me, of course, yes.
The question of you, whenever I get a text like that, I was like, is this from Prince?
But we've covered that on the show. I said, you're not Prince. You are not Prince. If you're not Prince, you don't get to do that. If you're Prince, you can do whatever the fuck you want because he had no rules. The man could do whatever the fuck he wanted.
But is that the downfall of our society?
Not when Prince does it because, again, he's unique.
In general, that billboard, is that the downfall of our society?
No, the downfall is the laziness in the way that people look at things and the way that people live their lives. You say no one cares, but the problem is everyone cares about everything, and they tell you about it.
No, they only care about what they think and why it is important to them. No one looks for the greater good.
No, nobody gives a fuck about the greater good. And I said, I don't either. I mean, I do a show, and this literally is just, it's not even navel gazing anymore. Now I just have my head firmly tucked in my goddamn navel. That's all I'm doing. This show has been a snake eating its tail since year 4. I mean, there's no doubt about that. We can't argue with it, but that's fine because it's a very entertaining snake, and look at that lovely tail. I mean, that's fine. It's a very entertaining snake who's weaving a long tail and then swallowing it. That's what he does. I guess that's it. I swallow. That's what this show comes down to. But I told Jill, I'm like, millennials, like literally millennials, their slogan should just be millennials. What's in it for me?
Well, that's true.
But that's the way it is for all of us too. I mean, I was like that in the 80s and the 90s. I mean, I don't want to pretend that I'm any sort of benevolent guy who cared about the world. I don't give a fuck about China or Korea. Kid, build my iPhone so I can fucking go ahead and do something on it. I don't give a fuck if you're trapped in a factory and you were bored and then you're chained to a goddamn bench. I wish that wasn't the case, but you should have been lucky enough to have been born in the greatest American country. That's it. That's what you should have done. If you'd have been born in the greatest country in the world, you wouldn't have to be making an iPhone unless it was the 20s, and then you would be. You'd be making coal and shirts, whatever the fuck we made kids do back then. But now, if you're born in China, well, I got news for you. If you're not born in like a well, first of all, if you're a girl, don't they kill you or they put your foot in the shoes to make sure it fits? What is it? What is it they do?
That's it's the country of Cinderella. If you don't fit in the glass slipper, they kill you.
No, don't they form your feet in a weird way like when you're a kid?
There's not a lot of foot binding anymore.
I think it is. I think all Chinese girls get their feet binded and they got to have cloven hooves. And that's why Asian women are very scary because they have devilish powers because of their misshapen feet.
No.
They have cloven hooves and they clomp
not a lot
around.
of it.
Let me go ahead and apologize to Michi Soji Lee, who listens to this show, because I know she's going to write me and go, hey, Jagoff, I've been with you for 9 years. I donated to the fucking show every month. And now you're going to talk about foot binding and say Asians are evil? I'm not really. I'm teasing. It's just a joke. We're having fun. I'm swallowing my tail. Remember that?
Yeah, okay.
But foot binding was a deal, right? Wasn't that a thing?
It was.
Was that just a fetish deal? Was that just like freaky white dudes who are like, hey, we're going to tie your foot up in a goddamn cage?
Tiny feet were supposedly very graceful and very, I can't remember the whole thing now, and I don't want to misquote it because I don't want to ruin entire culture.
Yeah, but when you're
misquoting
foot binding, then you want to get a little tiny foot, but
it had
then...
to do with status and stature and beauty and all of those things.
Yeah, but I don't want... But see, that's wrong, man. If you're going to give some girl like a fucking weird binded foot and then she's going to paddle about like goddamn Lon Chaney in The Fog and The Werewolf.
But part of the point of that is they have servants and everyone that take care of them. When you're royalty with tiny feet, and that just sounds absurd to say, but yeah.
So when you're royalty with tiny feet, people like flock to take care of you?
Well, it's part of why you become the upper class, if I remember correctly. I may be screwing this up, and I apologize because I don't like to fuck up other cultures.
Well, look, everyone knows that you're my go-to on Asian culture. I mean, whenever I'm going to try to find out anything,
I should be, if nothing else.
I come to you to try to get all of my knowledge there. Except for but again, we've already covered Asian baby mouth sauce on this show. We've covered all of those sorts of things. I was covered in Asian baby mouth sauce. That was not fun. Go ahead and buy year 4, whatever the fuck that was. That's when this show started its great swallowing. That's when the great swallowing began. I think was year 4. So I wish I cared about the world. I kind of don't. I like chaos and I like shit to happen. I mean, like today, Ted Cruz picked Carly Fiorina as his vice president. And, my favorite thing about about the entire election with Trump and Kasich and all is that they still don't know what they're dealing with in Trump. They still have no idea. Like I said, when they brought Romney out and he's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and be the figurehead here. And I think it's time to stop this man. And everybody just went, get the fuck out of here, robot. Nobody gives a fuck what you have to say. Literally, let's trot out the rich Mormon white robot and he's going to tell some steel worker what the fuck to do. It's insane.
The problem with it is when someone has power like that, you fear that power, so you give them more power for fear that they will use the power on you.
Tomorrow Romney?
About Trump. It's the same way Hitler became in. It's like, well, if we just let him do what he wants to do, he'll leave us alone. It's that, you vote for the scary you know as opposed to the scary you don't know. Who knows what Ted Cruz is capable of? Trump came right out and told us the shit he's going to do.
Well, see, you're thinking,
tolerable.
But you're thinking on a level that I don't even think it goes that deep. It's not that deep at all. No, I think scared people are voting for the guy who's funny. I mean, literally, it's just they're like, hey, he's not an insider, he's not a Washington insider, and he's going to go ahead and just be.
Let's give him more power because that he's not picking on us. That's what I'm saying. Those people are like, where Bernie's going to come in and actually upset apple carts and change things, and people have no idea what's going to happen after that. That's real scary. That's Hitchcock scary. That's something that you haven't seen, but you know is coming, and it's really creepy, as opposed to, it's a clown mask. I can deal with a clown mask. Do you know what I mean? It's that... I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it goes anywhere near that deep. I do disagree. I think people are voting... Well, I mean, no, I want him to win the nomination because I am telling you what, just to see him debate Hillary, I will literally pop popcorn and watch it from beginning to fucking end. I will live tweet every Hillary, and but that's a threat. Now that if that doesn't stop Trump, I don't know what will stop Trump in this country. I'm going to live tweet every Hillary tweet and Trump debate. Nobody wants that to fucking happen. But I just... Why do you need to subject her to more of that?
Because you have to have debates. What are they going to do?
I understand that, but it's like, wouldn't you rather have her actually debating somebody that you go, either of these are interesting people that would actually do great things for our country, rather than, look at this train wreck?
Right, but who are you talking about? Cruz or Kasich? Which one of those is a great person who's going to do great things for our country? Nothing. Nobody.
Right now, I think that Cruz and Trump are the scariest things I've seen in a long time.
And Kasich's just as bad. Kasich hates women. He's frightened of them. He's scared of them, and he wants to go ahead and close all the Planned Parenthood clinics. I mean, look, again, I'm happy I don't have a vagina because I don't have to have a war on me in this country. There was that clip that went around where they were like, they had men read mean tweets to the female sportscasters. Did you see it?
Oh, yeah.
And I got to be honest with you. Huh?
I don't have to see that. I
Understood.
lived it.
And I
That
feel the
was
same.
made for men.
Fine. But even watching it, it's not even made for men, because here's what takes all of the power out of that clip. Okay. It's not the men who wrote the tweets. So I don't have any, if you track those motherfuckers down and you make them read their own words to those women, then you've got something. Then we have some sort of poignancy, and then we've kind of reached on a level where we never thought we'd get to, instead of having some random hipster dude with a backwards hat come in and go, hey, you're a cunt. This hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? It just didn't make any sense.
Well, here's why it makes sense. Because it makes the people who think I'm a good guy go, I'm not as good a guy as I thought I was.
But why? Why wouldn't you think that?
Because have you ever written something online and then realized later, I probably shouldn't have said that?
Well, I probably should have just done 4 minutes on foot binding. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Okay. In a comedy context, I had a bad customer service experience, and I talked about the woman on the phone, but I didn't write down what a fucking cunt at the end of it. Guys do that without thinking. There is a woman there that you just literally called a cunt because she was kind of condescending.
Yeah, but that's again, fine, guys.
So
all right, so you're using the
so
royal
the
guys.
average guy read a text and go, holy shit, yeah, that's awful because you're in front of me and you're right. I'm never going to offhandedly do that again.
Yeah, but first of all, wrong. I don't think any of those guys learned any sort of lesson. I don't know who those dudes were. Second of all, I mean, yeah, they looked genuinely miserable. They had to say those things to the woman in the room, but I don't.
But the guy that actually wrote it wouldn't have felt generally miserable. He would have sat there and went, yeah, you're a fucking cunt and you should be thrown off the
No,
air.
I don't agree with that either. If he would have dug some guy out and shined fucking a light in his face and said, read this motherfucker, and then said, and gone to his job and done it.
You're wrong.
Okay, I'll be
You're
wrong. Cool. But
I
if you
walk down the streets and have men say those things
Fine.
to my face.
Fine.
Not just on the internet.
I understand. But my point is, go find them. Don't make fucking random stand-in guy read those fucking words to those girls or women, because it's not nearly as effective. If you go find that guy at his work and you go up to him and go, hey dude, why don't you read the shit that you wrote to her right to her face right now? That's interesting. That's compelling. To just have these poor women be subjected again to having to hear those words vomited all over them by strangers, as if just like it was the first time. I mean, I guess Sarah Spain and the other woman, they did it for a reason, and they felt that it was going to be effective and good for them, and that's fine. I just don't think it was nearly as effective as it could have been if you didn't go find those fucking dudes. And I understand there's burner accounts and everybody's got fake fucking names and shit like that.
It's
but
not even that. It's the guys that write that stuff on the internet are the ones that actually mean it.
Well, there was a boxer or whatever, a guy in England, and he went and found a guy, and he went to his fucking house, and he knocked on the door, and finally, of course, the guy had to sheepishly just go, oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean all that stuff, and nobody really learned anything. Nobody's ever going to learn anything. I guess that's the bottom line. Nobody's going to learn a fucking thing, because people are just going to be mean, or they're going to be terrible, or they're going to be nice, because that's their nature, and also anonymity, of course, lets everybody go ahead and do whatever the fuck they want. But I just didn't find that to be because people keep writing this, or all that bullshit that they do on Facebook.
Yeah.
This made everything. This is everything, and no, it's not. It's random dudes forced to read those words.
Did it make you uncomfortable at all to hear it being said to the woman's face?
Well, I don't like seeing the women have to react to it again, but I felt it was just like they were having to go through it again. I felt it was a dumb, terrible thing. Why are you making them go through it again? I understand they agreed to participate, okay? But to me, they've already lived that garbage. They live it every fucking day. I don't find any effectiveness in having these guys sit there and lob that at them. If anything, you know what? It came off to me as more male privilege, because it allowed them to say those things. Or yeah, they felt bad. So what? Are we supposed to think they're good guys because they felt bad? But just making them read those things to those women, the women just had to go through it again. Literally, it was like getting punched in the face again by another stranger reading a stranger's words. It didn't have the kind of effectiveness I thought it should.
Do you think that the mean tweets thing that what's-his-face does?
Kimmel.
Do you think that has any effect?
None effect. No, because it's played for comedy. That's the thing, is that's totally played for comedy. Like when I watched this clip, I wasn't sure where it was going. When I watched it and they said, oh yeah, because again, it's that build up. You won't fucking believe what happens here.
No.
Well, no, it's two people sitting in a room talking. You know what I mean? So I got news for you. I have the internet. I will absolutely believe what happens next. I can tell you that right now. No matter what you fucking bring up or what you bring out at the table, I'm going to believe it because I've seen it. I saw a dude get garroted the other day. I saw a dude get beheaded by a wire. These dudes were fucking, it's just some clip from, again, Mongolia, wherever the fuck, I don't know. Where some guys, they had a wire and they're binding this woman's feet, right? And so they're trying to stretch it across the street. No, they were pulling something out of a ditch. And it's just like it's like 9 farmers with a yak. I'm not even kidding. It's like 9 farmers with a yak and a truck. And they've got, of course, they're using the only metal wire in the country. So they've got it tied around a piano or whatever I don't even know what the fuck they're moving. It literally, there's no context to the thing. It's just like 15, you know what it is? It was 7 Chinese brothers. And one of them drank the ocean. And then the other one got this wire and he tried to pull the rock out of the ocean that they needed to go ahead and plug up the fireplace. So there's just these dudes, and they're all wearing their like peasant, right? You know, it literally, it looks like the entire army of Vietnam who defeated us back in the 60s. Somehow they got something stuck in a ditch. So they have to go out and get like a metal lasso because, you know, God forbid they push it out of the ditch. Instead, they tie up like a team of oxen and they tie this wire over to like it may have been just like a giant ball of rice. I don't know what the fuck it was. I don't know what they had. It may have been a huge sense of entitlement left behind by American troops. I don't know. But they tied it around there and they're pulling it out of the ditch. And it's like, and it's that thing where, because again, I see those clips. I don't even know how those places exist. Like Jill and I are going to be traveling. We're going to New York. We're going to certain places. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But like we've talked about going overseas. We want to go to France. We want to go to Europe. I want to see the fucking world. But then part of me, when I see these clips, I'm like, I don't want to fucking see the world. There's a country, I think it's just called Smokistan, because it's just all a bunch of Asian dudes smoking in the street. That's all it is. Whenever they show those streets that have no traffic lights, and it's just 8 intersecting lanes, and it looks like it literally looks like the overhead shot at the end of Blazing Saddles when everybody's just dancing in circles, but they're all in fucking cars going 75 miles an hour. And then there'll be some dude who goes by in a scooter, and then he steals Matthew Modine's camera, and he drives off, and Matthew Modine does a fucking karate stance. Too buku. So they fucking drive off. I kind of want to go to those places to see it happening, but I know that, you know, I can't go to Brazil or I can't go to Mongolia or any of that shit because I'll be like, this is pretty awesome. I can't wait to try the local cuisine. And then the next thing you know, I got a machete in my shoulder. And it's like, man, that sucked. God damn it. This is supposed to be a pleasure trip. Some fucking goofy priest with a blow dart will come up from behind a fucking bush and blow it into my neck, and then they drag me up to a monastery, and they're like, that's right, we're going to beat you on the soles of your feet with these rattan sticks until you eat this rice. What? Why would you do that? I would eat rice even if you didn't hit me in the feet. No talking. I can't go to that country. That crazy shit's going to happen to me, and I know it is. Because I'm the guy. That's the problem. Jill and I are like, we got to travel, we got to do all this stuff, but you know I'm the guy that's going to happen to.
I'm sorry.
J. Swee Mike Schmidt. J. Swee Charlie Hebdo. No, J. Swee Mike Schmidt. So I'm going to go overseas and some bad shit's going to happen. And I know. I can't go watch Eagles of Death Metal in France. Literally, first of all, did they ever schedule another show in France? I mean, yeah, but not really. It wasn't really a scheduled show. That was like the whole weekend show that we can do this again because we're brave. But like on their next tour, they're going to go, hey, what about that France date? They're going to go, no fucking way, man. I want to be their tour manager because I want to come in and just go, all right, guys, the album's great. And, you know, of course, your core fan base is behind it. We're probably not going to break over because you're kind of a niche act and you know that. But still, you've got fans all over the world. Here's the itinerary. Now, let's all draw our attention to June because I've scheduled a date in France. Hear me out. And they're just like, fuck no. That's ridiculous. No, if you're a woman who got raped, would you ever go back to that restaurant? No, you would not. If you're Jodie Foster, do you ever go back to that bar? No, you do not. I don't care if they've got the best Mai Tai in the fucking world. You are never I don't care how much you liked that pinball game. You are never going back to that fucking bar. That's why Eagles of Death Metal don't go to France, because there's no way Jodie Foster goes back to that fucking bar. I don't care.
Okay, I'm with you on that one.
Right. So when the tour manager's is like, hey, you know what? We're going to go through Europe. And, you know, they're literally all of them are just like staring at him. And then he's just like, well, yeah, there's a France date. And they're like, dude, don't you, I got news for you. We sold 1,800 tickets, but then 5 guys showed up and crashed the gate. Remember those dudes? Because they weren't invited and they showed up and they just fucking mowed everybody down like it was a goddamn French lawn. We're not doing it.
I'm going to go the other way again.
Let's hear it.
Jodie Foster was a targeted attack because it was that girl in that bar at that moment.
Yes.
That was just, that's the venue, this is the day we're doing it. They didn't go, it's that band.
No, they did.
No, they did not.
This is the tragedy of them all being killed. Because if they would have talked to them, they would have just found out that they were so anti-Eagles of Death Metal.
Stop it.
Everybody's like, oh my God, it's for ISIS. Oh my God, it was totally for ISIL. And it's like, no, dude, these guys were totally against Josh Homme. That's exactly why they staged the attack.
No, not.
Yeah. Why do you think Nick quit Queens of the Stone Age? He knew that eventually gunmen were going to come looking for Josh Homme, and he didn't want to be on stage when the bullets started flying. He's like, fuck that, I can't do it.
Mike, you are bad.
That's why Nick bailed. Everybody's like, oh man, Nick's a speed freak and he couldn't go out with Queens of the Stone Age anymore. Nope. He knew that he was seeing the fucking tea leaves. And he was like, man, they're coming for Josh. I can't be on stage when it goes down. Hopefully it's during a side project. And then it was.
You're bad.
That's why those gunmen showed up. That's the thing. They were all killed, so nobody even got to ask them, hey, was this a religious thing? Or was this an Eagles of Death Metal thing? Was this a rock criticism thing?
Oh, man.
Because it happened in Chicago. Jim DeRogatis showed up and he shot Shoes. Didn't you know that? That's why Shoes disappeared. They were huge in the 80s and then they were fucking gone because Jim DeRogatis and David Christgau showed up and gunned them the fuck down.
What is wrong with you?
Why do you think the Runaways broke up? Because fucking Lester Bangs came in and he fucking wielded an assault rifle and he's like, everybody's going down, man. You're all getting taken the fuck out. And Lita Ford and Joan Jett said, nah, we're done. We're splitting this thing up. We're going solo. Because obviously, as a band, the Runaways are going to be shot. There's a chance well, no, there's not a chance. I'm totally right. I literally was gonna equivocate there. I was gonna waffle a little bit and go, you know what, maybe that isn't the truth. Bullshit. I think it's totally true. I wish those guys had not died because they would have asked him what was up. Pardon me?
Check Snopes.
Should I Google it? Check Snopes?
Check Snopes.
Was the attack in France an attack on the Eagles of Death Metal or an attack that was based in religious fundamentalism? I don't know.
It was probably all about Hillary.
Why does she get roped into this? Give her a break.
No one gives her a break, seriously.
Well, like when you the thing you said about with Trump and Hillary and they're going to have their debate and they're like, why does she have to go ahead and sit through that? Well, she's got to debate the idiot. You know what I mean? She's going to eviscerate the motherfucker, first of all, because she's got bigger balls than he does.
But the problem is, then they're just going to be like, oh, look at her being all smart.
I agree.
I do not understand this country.
Yes, I agree with.
Look at her being all smart and corrupt.
Look, we've been talking about that for years on this show. The fact that there's this complete intellectualism streak that runs through fucking everybody, and I can't figure it out.
And yet he talks down to everyone.
Yes.
He is the most condescending motherfucker on earth. She smiles and cracks a stupid joke, and it's like, oh my God, she's an idiot.
Didn't he say I have a very good brain? He said that.
I have a very good brain, and I know a lot of big words.
Yeah, he even said the other day, and he said,
I know a lot of words.
I'm like really smart.
Yes,
he said that.
all the time.
I'm like really smart.
He's
and
not really smart. He's like really smart.
That's what I'm saying. So he gave a speech today. He gave his foreign policy speech, and here's the best part. Like he read from a teleprompter. Do you remember when they used to kill Obama? They're like, oh my God, he's the creature of a teleprompter or whatever like that. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about.
He complained about it up until yesterday, and then decided to have a speechwriter finally and B, a teleprompter finally.
Yeah, and then he gave that speech today, and he just kind of he couldn't resist throwing in veries and things like that, where he's just because that's who he is. They need to realize again. I'm starting to think even his handlers don't know what they have. All right, because he's so far he's been and this analogy is going to be terrible, but I don't care. He's like a wild horse who just stomps around and does whatever the fuck it wants, and people are going, dude, we fucking love that wild horse. And then there's the other civilized horses like, man, we fucking hate that wild horse. Let's stomp him down. And then they try to and they can't because everybody protects the wild horse. And now that it looks like he's the last remaining horse, they're going to come in and they go, well, let's turn him into the civilized horse. No, you can't fucking do that. You've thrown all the money you possibly can into this guy being a loose cannon who says whatever the fuck he wants. Again, as I've said, he's me, essentially, running for president. He says whatever the fuck he wants. It's that, unfortunately, all of his dumb shit that he says is always, it's against women or against Muslims. He's always got somebody else to point out. If he wants to start taking on foot binding, maybe I go ahead and come on board with this guy. I got to be honest. But he's just that dude. And now, you know what? I got to stress this. I wasn't talking about bringing back foot binding. I don't think I was.
That.
Yeah. I mean, I just knew it was a thing that they did. And I've seen several internet videos for that. Oh, I never even finished this video. So sure enough, all those smoking dudes in Smokistan, they got a goddamn lasso, right? And they tie it around whatever the fuck they're pulling out of the ditch. And it just looked like a setup. Like, honestly, it just looked like they were the team of most inadequate assassins in history. And they knew this dude would be driving to work at this point. But so they're pulling something out of the ditch and they stretch this long like wire rope, and it's being filmed, and it's that grainy kind of Zapruder film-esque quality of a film. Because again, it's in that country. You're filming through a haze of smoke anyway, because everybody in the goddamn country has got a mouthful of parliaments. Like all of them are just sitting there puffing away.
I love that you chose Parliament.
There's not a clean lung in Southeast Asia. Not even all. Yeah. So fucking there is not one unspotted lung in the entire Orient. If I may call it the Orient.
As your Asian consultant, no.
No, I should take that back? All right, good for you. Again, Mitchie Soji Lee, I apologize to you. If you're even still on board. You may not be. But if you are, oh, please know. Please know eventually we were coming for this. So these dudes, like I said, in you know, Smokelasia are just there, and they're all lined up. And there's like 10 dudes with just puffing cigarettes, and they got this wire, and they're trying, and their yaks are rolling, and it just stretches across the highway. Because again, I don't know why there wasn't a better way to do this. Because apparently the guy who with the schematic for how to pull shit out of a ditch was off that day, so this is what they came up with. And as they're pulling, they pull the wire taut, and it's taut because they're trying to pull the heavy thing out of the ditch, and out of nowhere. You're watching it, it's just wires and a bunch of smoke and dudes. It's that hazy, weird, yellow, fucking nasty cancer in real life type of filter. And a dude on a scooter just fucking rolls up and gets his head cut off. Boom!
Oh.
Just fucking taken off. And he just flips. Like it's his head doesn't exactly come off, but it's bad. I mean, he's looked better, I guess. I mean, again, in fairness, he may have had half of a head when he came up and approached the wire. This may have been the one dude over there who, because again, like I said, they're all smoking and looking for cancer. Maybe this guy had his neck removed at some point, and he only had half a head as it was. I don't know. I don't want to cast aspersions. I don't want to go ahead and speculate. All I know is if you're living over there, eventually you're going to get cancer of the eyes just from looking out your window, because everybody in the fucking goddamn country is puffing away. Every single one of them's got a mouthful of goddamn cools, and you're like, oh, dude, what's happening over here? It's just like the whole country's just got a barbecue happening, but it's all in their mouths. So sure enough, I mean, he just comes into the picture and just gets fucking going. He just gets fucking lipped. And he does it like a fucking spinaroo and gets body slammed to the ground, and he's just laying there like his body. He's dead. He's clearly dead. His body's his head is kind of. He's like a Pez dispenser. They turn him into a Pez dispenser, and so he's kind of just laying on the ground, and you just see like blood start pooling up, and he's laying there. And then, but here's my favorite part about the whole thing: these farmers, they got this wire. They're pulling this shit out of the ditch. The ox are there, whatever the fuck. There's a truck. The one truck in the country they've called to go ahead and pull the thing out of the ditch. This dude drives, and he goes by like Batgirl at the end of the 66 Batman credits. He just zooms by kind of quick. You know, I mean, I don't know where he was heading. I don't know. And also, I want to know this: how long is that road? You're on a scooter. You're clearly driving toward what is a clusterfuck of an attempt to move something out of a ditch. You see them. There's dudes. The only thing I guess he didn't see the wire,
You don't see it.
but he must have seen it tied to the thing, or
You don't see it because of the way you don't.
But you're approaching a group of people,
But you don't see it.
But-
You just see people on both sides, and you figure a car went over, and that you cannot see the rope. You cannot see the cable. You physically can't discern that it's there.
See, but that's the problem when you're in South Smokewan. You know what I mean? Because you're used to driving in all these weird things and not knowing what the fuck is happening. So you just see yaks and bullshit on the road. You're like, nah, fuck, I'll just zip through these dudes. No, they're gonna stay out of my way. And then he just gets fucking taken out, man. It's like those cop spike strips, but like up around neck level, and just boom, takes him right the fuck out. So he does the body slam, and he gets landed on the ground, and he's folded in half, like his leg is over his shoulder. I mean, he's just finished. And I don't think anybody blinked. Like, nobody rushed to help him. The farmers and everybody are just still standing there. They're still smoking, and they just see him hit the fucking street. And again, the scooter just keeps going. As far as I know right now, it could be in Pyongyang. I mean, it just fucking kept driving, because that scooter's like, you know what? Even the scooter just became sentient when I got to get the fuck out of this country. Bad shit's going to happen to me. But this guy gets just fucking twirled up. I used to have a toy when I was a kid, and he would push the things at the bottom, and it was a guy doing like an iron. He was like a little gymnastics dude. That's what this guy did. He just boom, boom, and he hit the ground. His head got fucking smashed. His legs up over his shoulder, and his head's like 3/4 off. He looked like fucking Nicole Brown. I mean, it was like just fucking destroyed. And that led me to speculate maybe, just maybe, and again, hear me out. Maybe OJ was trying to toast something out of a ditch. And Nicole was trying to help him, and she was like, well, we probably can't do this ourselves. Let's call the waiter from the restaurant I was just at. And then they call up Ron, and they're just having a conversation. They're getting along. They're talking about the kids. They're talking about the recital. They're saying things are good. And he's like, hey, how do you know this waiter? She's like, I don't know. And besides, he was going to drop over anyway because I left my glasses there. And he's like, well, I'll just buy you new glasses, Nicole. And she's like, well, no, I really like these glasses. He's like, well, you know what? If he comes over with the glasses, he can help us get this thing out of the ditch. And then, Ron Goldman shows up with a team of oxen and sunglasses. And then they went ahead and they set it all up. And then, one thing leads to another. And the next thing you know, fucking Nicole and Ron wind up in the bushes in a pile of blood. And fucking OJ's like, shit, I didn't even get that thing out of the ditch. I got to get home. I got a plane to catch, for fuck's sake. I think it was the Bronco. Remember when they said the Bronco was askew at his house? Well, the Bronco, that's because the axle was a little off because it had been put in a ditch in Brentwood and he was trying to tow it the fuck out. He's like, hey, man, call that waiter. So the waiter showed up. They tried to do it, and I don't know how they bungled it. Look, I'm not going to lie to you, but I'll tell you what. If you got a football star, a blonde former ex-wife, and a waiter, I'm not going to put a lot of faith in them getting something out of a ditch properly without something bad happening. I mean, someone's going to get hurt. Either you're going to wind up with a flat tire, or the wire's going to snap, or two of them are going to wind up getting their heads cut off and lie in the bushes, and the other guy's going to be on trial for 2 years for their murder. If one of those things is going to happen, if you're trying to tow something out of a ditch in Brentwood, that's the way it works. And I know that's the way it works because on this very video, right when that guy got flipped over and landed with his leg over his head and there was blood pooling and all of those farmers are smoking and staring and smoking, they immediately cut away to a concerned David Schwimmer who didn't know what to think about the situation. Oh, not Uncle Juice. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can find me at twitter.com/the40year-old boy. You can find me at facebook.com/the40year-old boy. Follow me, find me, follow me, friend me. One of those things. Our friend David Hernandez does all of the artwork for this show, all the music for this show. You can find him at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. Be his friend, be his pal. But if you'd like to hire him to do some cool stuff for you regarding artwork, not music, he will not do music for you. Back off. But if you want to do artwork for you, you can go ahead and write him at artbydmh.com, artbydmh.com. Check out the site. He's got all sorts of, what do we got there? He's got the Gycons, he's got the Valscapes, he's got all sorts of neat stuff that you can check out and go ahead and hire him to do. Either those, you can buy the existing pieces or hire him to do a piece for you. If you were saying, hey, you know what, do me a favor. Could you paint Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman in a bloody heap and O.J. Simpson with a tow truck? He would probably do it. I'll bet he would do it. He's that kind of guy. He takes requests and he takes money. That's the important thing. Is he got enough money, he's going to paint whatever you want. If you said, hey, do me a favor, paint Mike Schmidt talking into a microphone talking about O.J. Simpson killing Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, and he'd be like, yeah, okay, he would do it because if you get enough cash, man, it happens. Please remember our friend Ryan Dirks does all the website stuff for this show. He's the best. Go to facebook.com/Ryan Dirks if you want to be his pal because he needs pals. He lives on a farm, for fuck's sake. He totally needs friends. And, of course, the producer of this show, who is fucking giving me a goddamn assignment for this week's show, and I got to go in and lower the boom.
Hashtag do the work.
No one likes it. That's Lily Von Stupp, and she's there. You can find her at several different places. You can go to facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp and stare at her page and go, what would it be like to be her friend? She won't let you. She's all full up. But
Do you know who I just got friended by?
Who's that?
Anastasia Sin.
Anastasia Sin?
Ask me who that is.
I'm going to because I have no idea.
The amazing Jonathan's wife.
Oh, okay. Is he still around?
He is.
Did the bad things happen yet?
He's okay.
He's hanging in there?
It was just really great because I've gotten to meet her a couple times and talk with her, and she and I are the same way. And she goes, "Yay, I'm finally in," because we both had cleared out so that we could start friending people. And I was like, "Yay!" So sorry, I can't friend you. I have celebrity friends.
Yeah, that's the message you just sent. Really, to all the listeners who are because you've told me I'm not accepting any friends, and then you're just like, "Guess who just friended me?" And everybody
really not. But it was one of those where when the last time we saw each other, she's like, "We're not actually friends. We've got to, and so just perfectly timed that I saw.
But all of these people now are just like, I wanted to be your friend. We've been waiting. We've been queuing up outside.
I promise you, I do see who follows me. They come through my feed. I do see the stuff. I do interact with people. I'm not a jackass on Facebook.
Well, you're the one?
Yeah.
You're the one who isn't? All right, good. So go to facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp, and don't be her friend. Just go look at her giggling and laughing with Anastasia Sin. That'll be fine. But if you want to follow her at Twitter, you can do that. There's several different Twitter accounts. There's facebook.com. There's Twitter. Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp. Twitter.com/Hollywood BQ Fest. Twitter.com/MNTs. Twitter.com/Boobdini. And you can go there and follow her and be your pal. And if you want to go to her Patreon page, that is patreon.com/Lily, Lili. So Patreon, patreon.com/Lily. And go ahead and help fund her artwork and her arts and her dancing. And she'll give you behind the scenes stuff. Like when she's...
Topless photos and naked photos there.
Well, there's all sorts of stuff like that. But also you're in full costume doing photo shoots and things. It's always a peek behind the scenes into the life of a Lily Von Stupp. And so go ahead and be a benefactor on Patreon and help her out, and we'd be cool with that. But I will tell you this: if you'd like to send her a personal note,
Please.
and ask her what it was like when she almost died 3 inches away from a telephone.
That was rough.
It was. You can write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Downtown, shaking her love. TNA talking to me. Felt my heart drop. Wheeled it then stop. Girl has got me on my knee. Baby, baby, babe, don't make me wonder. Won't you let me in? She said, see you later. Shot down. I'll be back again. Dress is so tight, moving to the beat. Set my feet on fire. Dream come true, I wanna give it to you. Let the flames get high. Baby, baby, you're driving me crazy. Like a cat in a cage. You make me shiver. Earthquake. Downtown to blaze. Good love is all you need. Give me what I know. Cold blood is all you bleed. When it cools off, you tease it. When it gets hot, you freeze it. Cold blood is all you bleed. When it cools off, you tease it. When it gets hot, you freeze it. Cold blood is all you bleed. But you don't wanna know. Cold blood is all you bleed. Cold blood is all you bleed. Cold blood is
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. I'm lucky enough to know the producer of that show. She brings it every week. She brings you the best burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles. That's right, the history of, well, not just Los Angeles, the West Coast, not just the West Coast. How about America? It's the best burlesque show in the history of America. That's a thick history. I saw that Daily Show book. That's fucking huge. You could kill a fucking hummingbird with that thing. Or an eagle. You could probably kill an eagle. I should have gone that route. I'll bet if you had that big fucking America textbook from the Daily Show and you were out somewhere in a goddamn desert and a bald eagle flew up to you, you could just smash it in the head and kill it and eat it. Do you eat eagle? Does anybody eat eagle? Have you ever tasted an eagle? Oh, I'll bet it's like Neapolitan inside. It's all like red, white, and blue. Neapolitans get that like strawberry chocolate vanilla thing happening, red, white, and blue, which I guess would be strawberry, blueberry, and lime. I don't know what's white. I don't know. That's like a bomb pop. That's what eagles look like inside. If you smash an eagle in the head with a textbook that says America on the cover, cut it open. It's gonna look like a bomb pop, red, white, and fucking blue. So I know the producer of the Monday Night Teas show. Now you know what's funny. She was here earlier. I couldn't. I went. Here's the thing. I'm talking right, and I said L-I-L-I, and then I threw a song on, and I come back in the room, gone, adios, ghosted. She bailed. All I saw was my tavern doors swinging in the breeze and a horse galloping into the distance. She had to go. So she when she was here, she wasn't even here. She was like, yeah, I got a heart out. And then I don't work that way, folks. As you know, I'm the talent. I sit, I talk in circles. Who knows when it's going to fucking end? But this week it was like she had a heart out, so I felt like I'm pressing. Look, let's review this show. Let's thumbnail it. I think if you listen back, I mean, because again, and the length alone should tell you, I think I pressed a little bit. I mean, I came to the table with not a lot to say this week because I had just done a Prince show. So I wasn't sure that I had so much to say. And by the way, I am recording this like 5 days later. Don't kid yourselves. She fucking bailed. And now here we are sitting at it's Wednesday morning, actually. I was recording this, Monday? Or I don't even know when the fuck I recorded it. Who knows? Saturday? Friday? Who knows? The important thing is we're here now and we're together and we're talking about killing eagles with books. So the Monday Night Teas is a great show. Lily was here. She had a heart out. She had to bail. And so then I, of course, let this show gather dust until now when I decided to finish it for you. Is it Wednesday morning or Tuesday morning? I think it's Tuesday. Fuck. I don't even know. Dudes, who knows, man? I'm back in the car. I'm driving. I'll tell you about that later. Fuck. Because, you know me. Who cares? Monday Night Teas. Plugs. The Monday Night Teas is the greatest burlesque show in the history, like I said, of America. I'm going to say North America. Fuck you, Canada. I don't know what you're doing up there, but I know it's not as good as what we get down here on the left coast. So I'm going to say burlesque show quality rankings. A lot of groaning here. Lily's number one, and so is the Monday Night Teas. Tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com. I don't know who was there last week. I don't know who was here next week. I know she's got a Prince tribute show coming up at some point. She's got all sorts of stuff planned that she's going to be doing for you. So if you go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and join that page, you'll see who's coming, who's been there, who's going to be there, all that neat stuff, and see them naked. Naked is a relative term. You'll see them sort of barren. You'll see them barren. Oh, you know what? There is really nothing better than a room full of barren strippers. Oh my God, let me tell you, because they are so happy. They are so thrilled. They're just like, hey, check it out. I can do a split kick and then ride the pole and not have to worry about busting out my uterus because I am barren. Who cares? And I don't want to bring a kid into this glitter and chrome world. Why would I want to do that? So strippers are available. Go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and check out all the barren women that Lily's hiring, apparently, according to me. And tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com. Go ahead and search Lily Von Stupper Monday Night Teas, and that's cool. And like I said, go to Lily's page. She'll update stuff. And get in the mailing list. And also, our friend Lily has a Patreon page. Patreon Patreon page / it's patreon.com/Lily. And of course, that's Lili. If you want to get on board with supporting Lily through her tours and things like that, she's touring all through June. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with us. She's going to be on the road, and I don't know where I'm going to be. And I know I got some stuff going. We'll cross that fucking bridge when we come to it, right? We already bought ourselves an extra week with last week's Prince Tribute Show. This is episode 51. Last week, episode 1999, because I'm awesomely great. So go to the Monday Night Teas, get tickets. Monday Night Teas on Facebook at facebook.com/Monday Night Teas. I can't say those 3 words more than enough. Get tickets, see naked people, and have fun. And balloons. If you want to go to the Joe Business page, well, there's a few things. But yeah, let's go to the Joe Business page. If you go there, MikeSchmidtComedy.com, go to our Joe Business page. First of all, we do still have a deal with Tweaked Audio. I know, like I said, because they sent me some cash. Tweakedaudio.com/40YOB, 40YOB. Go there and you will get the attention of whoever's there, and you buy some stuff, and then we get cash. It's pretty cool. So thank you, Tweaked Audio. I didn't even realize they were still on board with us. I haven't heard from, I think it's Bruce, right? I think. Here's how terrible. I talked to him in person once. So go right now to Joe Business page. We don't have the link for Tweaked Audio, but if you go to tweakedaudio.com/40YOB, 40YOB, you can buy stuff. We get helped. You get earbuds. Everything's cool. And they got gear. They got cock ring watches. They got autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds. They also now have autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds and cock ring watches. No. All right, I was gonna switch it, and I couldn't. That's how fucking ingrained it is in my brain. They also have autoerotic asphyxiation watches and cock ring earbuds. You do not want to know where you plug those in. Oh my. At the Joe Business page, we got all sorts of cool stuff. We got shirts. We got dirt shirts as well as mystery shirts available. We've got all sorts of audio for you, downloads of live stuff from me. We got the Big Angry live CD that's still available. Should I make a new CD? Probably, because I've been pitching this one now for 9 years, and thank you for buying it. We've got live downloads of Schmitty Comes Alive, Schmidt Alive 2, and Stop Making Schmidt. I guess those are like 3 live CDs, but exclusively for downloads. So go ahead and grab those. They were specials, audio specials. So pick those up. I'd be happy if you did. And let's see, what else do we... Those are the live downloads. And then we have, you know what? We've got Word Pimp Schmitty and the Misanthropic Gangster. Those are available right there. That's music from the 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. And that's free with a $7 donation to the show. And also Heroes, the amazing tribute album done by my great friend David Hernandez. It's the music. It's the artists that shaped an artist is what I think I called it, or he called it. And you can pick that up now. Heroes and Word Pimp Schmitty and the Misanthropic Gangster are available now at that website that I told you about, the Joe Business page at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Also shirts and those live downloads. Also downloads of this show, year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7. All available individually or as part of the 7 Deadly Schmitts set. God, fucking year 8 should be up soon, right? In a few weeks. And right, ostensibly in a few weeks. And then we got to think of what we're going to call that. Who knows? It might be an octopus theme because there's 8 of them. You might just see Dick Van Patten's face. Who fucking knows, man? Because truly, 8 is enough for this show. But we'll get into that in the coming weeks or week. Also, while you're there, the important thing, like I said, there's the download sets, there's the the audio stuff, there's shirts, and this is also important. You can donate to the show. Individual donations are great. $2, $5, $10, and $25 a month is even better. If you subscribe and get on board with that, that's cool. But if you want to just give a lump sum, that's all. I'm all about lump sums. Let me tell you this about myself. I'm about lumps, and I'm about sums. And if you combine the two, fuck that. I'm driving that fucking duck boat. So please lump sum me. Do that. Just drop a bag of money on me. Like if I had a striped shirt and an eye mask on and a beret like a fucking villain on a Monopoly game. That's who I am. I'm the dude in the get out of jail free card, and you just drop a big bag of money on me. I'm happy. You're happy. We're happy. We're all happy. And speaking of money, while you're there at the Joe Business page, please use our Amazon link. Amazon link is right there on the page. Click through. You go to our store, which is also, it's as barren as the strippers on Lily's Facebook page. I'll get to that eventually, but then you go to the upper left-hand corner and you click through to Amazon and you buy stuff and we get credit. And I got to tell you something, man. You guys responded in February. Thank you so much. I don't know who went to work, but I just, you're nice, man. They help us. It helps the show, and it always it comes in at the end of the month, so that's kind of cool. I'm always like, because I'm traveling so much and I'm not working. For the past 5 fucking weeks, I'm not in the car because my car was destroyed and turned into a fucking ashtray. And then I just go, well, I'm going to go to Jill. I mean, because if I'm going to go sleep with a hot naked girl if I'm not going to work, by all means, I'm going to go there and do that. So I've been traveling and I've been there, but now I'm home and I'm working. I'll get to that in just a fucking second. But what I'm saying, I lost track of things. Because I think of hot naked Jill and then forget it. That's the last thing I got in my fucking brain. What the hell was I saying? Driving? The Patreon? No. God damn it. I've blown a gasket here. We were talking about Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Fuck. Yeah. So thank you for coming through. Jesus Christ. I'm glad you guys did that. You donated, and that's really neat. Thank you. It helps me out quite a bit. It helps the show out quite a bit. And I'm the show a lot of the time, so that I'm taking the cash because that's who I am as a guy. I need to stay alive, and when you guys contribute, it comes in at the end of the month, and it makes me happy. So please use our Amazon link. That's really important. Thank you so much. That's great. And then I'll give you these links again. Why not? Because it's the thing. If you go to mileiq.com/invite/HFVHB to keep track of your mileage, I get something and you get to use their service. It's like $6 a month, and it's really good for your taxes and stuff if you do a mileage thing. If you want to use me at Uber, go to uber.com or referrals. I honestly don't even know the address, but when you use a code, when you want to become a driver, go to DJZW1YTTUE, and that's all lowercase, and that's me. That's my referral. So if you want to become an Uber driver, use that as a referral. DJZW1, the number 1, YTTUE. And then Lyft has a referral thing too, and it's all caps, Mike, M-I-K-E, and then 720057. Now this is funny. I just got a text because Lyft and Uber are in a fucking war out here in California. I don't know what it's like in your state. I'm assuming, like in New Hampshire, there's not that big of a war between Uber and Lyft. There's like 2 dudes just shaking their fists at one another, a couple of old dudes who smell like syrup. But here, everybody and his fucking brother is on the road, and I just found that out again this week. Oh, you know what? Fuck this. Before I get into this, let me talk about this. I want to thank people. I got to thank some people who send me some stuff. Jamie sent me a bunch of chopsticks for Jill because I talked about how Jill doesn't know how to use chopsticks, and so Jamie she meant to buy 1 pair of training chopsticks for Jill, like these little like Hello Kitty chopsticks. She bought 11 pairs because Jamie does not know how to use keyboards. So thank you, Jamie. I'm glad you stepped up and you bought the key. She's actually coming here today, so I'll give her all of these chopsticks, and I cannot wait for her to just put them in a drawer and never use them because I gave her. She's got chopsticks in her house. I go, practice these. You got to be, because there's going to be a test. There's no test. What am I going to do? Go ahead and do these because she just goes, nah, I can't do it. I just want her to fucking dive in. Well, now she's got plenty of practice sets that she can use. Thank you, Jamie. That was really cool of you. Our friend John Leonard, I'm going to say his name. John's in Minneapolis, and let's talk about that for just a second too. In a second. Well, first let's do this. Our friend Tony Morrison, who's the man who lives in, he was in Houston, and he came to see me in Austin, I believe, and I think he saw me in San Antonio as well. But Tony is now in Kentucky. And he is out there talking to Raylan Givens and trying to get me a job on the force, which is good. I appreciate that because I know I need something to fall back on. He's out there running moonshine. He's bootlegging. He's running meth. He's got a meth lab, Tony does. But when Tony Morrison does not make meth, he goes out and he makes purchases for this show. He bought me a pin. When I first looked at it, I didn't know what the fuck it was. And then I read his note, and his note was like, hey, this is a Pulp Fiction pin. And it's a pin of the briefcase open with like the light shining out of it. It's pretty fucking cool. Like I didn't realize what it was at first. And then when I looked at it, I went, fuck, that's exactly what it is. But here's my favorite part. I read, like Jill looked at the letter and he says on it, he goes, I don't know. I'm not sure if you really care about pins, but I hope you dig it. And Jill laughed and she goes, who cares about pins? And I'm like, I go, believe it or not, there are people who do, like Facebook people. She goes, well, that's just an odd phrasing. I go, well, that's him saying, I hope you like what I got you. That's all it is. Because again, I do the same thing where if I give somebody a book or whatever, and I'm just like, I don't know if you like books. You know what I mean? Who doesn't like books? Everybody likes books, right? I'll tell you who doesn't like books. Eagles. Holy fuck. They are so they're not happy with books at all. Not at all. If an eagle sees a book, it will screech and go the other way and just totally like crash into a quarter and stay there forever. So Tony Morrison gets me this Pulp Fiction pin, which is awesome. And thank you. I just want to say thanks, man. That's cool of you to do that. So, and anytime anybody gets me anything, they think of this show, and that's really nice. Thank you very much. And so John Leonard also thought of this show, and he bought me. He wrote me, and he said it was the P.O. box. I finally picked it up. I told you Jamie has gotten me a little Joker, like a little pop Joker guy, and then somebody else sent me a pop Joker guy, and I don't know if I knew who that was. I'm not sure, but anyway, so I have those 2 pop Jokers here, and I got the. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, that was Ben Tahia, because I thought it was Taja. I'm so stupid. It's Ben Tahia, who hosts the Cinematic Defenders podcast. He gave me a pop Joker along with a Tarantino and a Batgirl in a bag, all that stuff. God, I'm old. Look at me forgetting shit in the minute I fucking talk about it. So these little pop dudes are awesome, and now John Leonard, our friend from Minnesota, wound up buying me a Travis Bickle pop guy. So, and Lily stacked them all on top of one another. I'm going to go, you know what? I'll post that photo, actually. I'll throw it in the Joker's page because she stacked everybody on top of one another. I'm just like, and I don't know how she did it because the Jokers keep falling down. I like, because they're here, they're staring at me right now. But when she put one Joker on top of the other Joker, they totally stay. Like, it almost looks like they were meant to be stacked on a Joker totem pole. It's fucking awesome. And Travis Bickle's got a gun and he's pointing at Tarantino. She staged a whole murder scene on my desk before she bailed. And it's still here. So thank you, John Leonard, for thinking of me and getting me a Travis Bickle thing. Now let's throw this out to you, John Leonard in Minnesota, and anybody else in Minnesota. Next week, May 10th and 11th, I think it is, off the top of my head. Hey, man, I'm going to be there. I'm not doing stand-up or anything. Jill and I are coming to town to go see a couple of Twins games and just hang out in Minneapolis. So if anybody wanted to go to dinner or lunch or hang out or even go to the Twins games with us, we have no tickets yet. We're just going to walk up and get them. We assume you guys blow, so we're going to be able to just get them at the gate or through StubHub. But come on out, man, and join us. It's going to be fantastic. I don't know where we're staying just yet. We have a hotel. And then we know we're probably Ubering or taking transportation down to the stadium. I'm excited because we're collecting stadiums. You know, we saw Oakland a couple of weeks ago, and we just booked another trip. I'll tell you about that when we get closer to it. But right now, we're going to be in Minneapolis next week, and Jill's just like, well, why don't you throw it out to people? And I'm like, well, absolutely, I'm going to throw it out to people because here's our plans for Minneapolis. We're going to get there. We know we're going to a Twins night game on Tuesday and a Twins day game on Wednesday. And I know at some point I am storming the gates of Paisley Park. That's all. I know I'm going to be out there for Prince stuff. So if you guys have any heads up on where I can go to check that stuff out, Jill and I would totally be on board with that. So please, if you want to join us, if you want to take us on a fucking tour, we go to Paisley Park. I don't fucking know. I don't know how it works out there. I know we got, I know Cindy's out there. I know John Leonard is out there. I think we have a few more listeners in Minneapolis, a few more, maybe a bunch more. I don't know. But if you're still there, man, fucking get a hold of me and either on the Joker's page or write me on Facebook or anything, man. And we'd love to, if you went to the game with us, that's cool. If you want to go to dinner, if you want to just hang out, in the hotel lobby and we'll, get a fucking 6-pack and just laugh. I don't care. I'm into it, man. So that's the thing. We're there Tuesday and Wednesday. We know we're going to the night game on Tuesday. We're going to the day game on Wednesday. And I know I'm going to go at least drive by and stare at Prince's house and cry. I know that's fucking happening. So that's next week. Call me. Fucking call me. Here's my number. Alrighty then. Still 911. Give me a shout and let me know what's happening. Either if you got my number, text me, or just write me on Facebook or put it on the fucking Joker's page. Whatever. We'll have a good time. It's going to be great. And so that's the thank yous for people. And then was there another thing to talk about? I don't think so. Except for the fact that Lyft has this referral thing. I gave you the Lyft code, which you said is Mike 720057. I get a text yesterday, and it says Lyft's one-time offer. And if I refer you, here's how it works. If I refer you and you complete 1,000 rides in 3 months, you get $5,000 and I get $500. Now, I've been thinking about this since I got the text. First of all, let me tell you something. Those numbers are fucking impossible to achieve. There is no way you will achieve 1,000 rides in 3 months. I mean, I've been driving for, 5 months or whatever. I'm barely at 250 because out here Uber crushes Lyft. So there's no way to get Lyft rides with that kind of frequency. And also, you would have to be in the car, even doing the math on it. You figure for 3 months, that's fucking 90 days. So that's over 10 rides a fucking day. Now, look, I've done 30 rides on a Saturday and a Sunday, certainly, because I'll work 12, 13, 14 hours. But there's just no way you can hit that number of 1,000 rides to get $5,000. And how shitty would it be if you were out there driving and looking and hustling and moving, and on like the last day you're at 991 and you just didn't get pinged? Because that's the thing. I don't know if I trust these fucking companies. If they're going to pay you $5,000, they control when you get a fucking call. And I know this is a conspiracy theory and a bunch of bullshit, but dude, they control how many rides you get. They control when you get called and who you can pick up. So if you get fucking close to it, it's like there's in Major League Baseball, when guys reach their incentives in their contract, there'll be a guy he's like within 10 at bats of getting $1 million bonus, and then they'll sit him down. And he's like, fuck, don't sit me down. Give me these at bats. And they're like, well, you suck. You're only hitting 200. He goes, I don't give a fuck. I'm 10 at bats away from $1 million. And it always turns into a contentious thing. And that's why incentives are so hard to parse. I mean, you don't know if they're true or they're false, or if you're going to, there are easily achieved ones that they throw in just to give a guy's cash, but those ones that are kind of on the cusp, man, you can't fucking, who knows? So I don't know if I would trust Lyft if I got within 1,000 rides to pay me off the $5,000. Like if they just stopped giving me pings and calls, I don't fucking know. And look, I like Lyft better than Uber, but who the fuck cares? They're all just trying to make money and rape you, and that's the thing. And look, I'm back doing it because I have to. In the short term, I have to until I start auditioning and getting stuff. And that's all. I went yesterday and I built up my acting, this week I should say. And I built up acting stuff. And I've got 2 websites where I can start contributing myself and trying to get fucking auditions and then voiceovers. And it's all kind of, it's happening, but it's happening slowly, but it's happening. I mean, I'm making progress. Not that you care, but that's fucking, who cares? And I'm trying to do podcasts. I'll tell you this. I was turned down for a podcast. I shouldn't even fucking talk about this. I reached out to people and then was told no. That's happened a couple of times in the past month. And then I did another show, but I don't know if it will air because they told me when when it finished, they were like, hey, we'll probably air this in a couple of weeks. And I'm like, great. And I learned my lesson with Marin, with you fucking guys, because it's like, when Marin didn't put it up, remember I freaked out, and then you guys all wrote him, and then he wrote me, and he's like, what the fuck, man? And then he, petted a cat, and he drank some coffee, and then he counted his money, and he interviewed the president. I should be happy about that. I have an angry email from the guy who interviewed the president. I should be fucking thrilled. So I can't give names and shit like that now, but I mean, dude, what the, I mean, I'm trying is the point. I'm trying to get out there and be seen or heard or whatever the fuck. And eventually I would assume that I would be, right? That's just law of averages. I'm going to fool somebody at some point where they're going to go, yeah, that seems like a good idea. Let's get this fucking idiot in here. And then I go in and I knock it out of the park and they're like, holy shit, now you're our fucking idiot. And they keep having me back and coming back and coming back. I mean, why not? Couldn't that possibly happen? Just an avalanche of mic as they invite me in and I just fucking go to work and I light up the microphones and the phone lines light up and they're like, who's that guy? Save him. By the way, I have no idea what podcast is getting phone calls. I have no idea what podcast has anybody calling in and going, hey, keep that guy. We love him. And fuck, I got to plug this, man. 2020 is coming up. That's in 2 weeks. Or a week and a half, whatever the fuck. May 16th. It's Monday, May 16th. And I mean, dudes, this is a killer fucking show. It is me, of course, going out there and talking and doing my thing. But then the always popular and very funny Brandy Posey is going to be joining me. Brandy Posey, who's, I think she's got a Comedy Central special coming up, if I remember correctly, or she's in the midst of getting one. But she's extremely talented, very funny. We're lucky to have Brandy Posey. And my good friend Jimmy Pardo is going to do the show, which is really cool. I'm glad that he's on board. So me, Jimmy Pardo, and Brandy Posey, May 16th. That's Monday night, May 16th at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. Tickets are available now. There's a Gold Star link. If you go to Gold Star and just search 2020, and I think it's the numbers 2020, or it might be the name. I don't fucking know because I got cute and threw an accent mark in there and I might have fucked up everybody's internet. But tickets are available at Brown Paper Tickets. But on my Facebook page, and I'll tweet out a Gold Star link as well. And those tickets are $5, man. How do you not pay $5 to come see Brandy Posey and Jimmy Pardo? And look, I get it. You should be getting $5 to come and see me. That's the way that works. But here, you pay $5 to see them. You go, you have a drink. It's fun. You have a good time. And then I show up and I do some talking as well. But it's Brandy Posey, Jimmy Pardo, and me, May 16th at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. I believe the show's at 7:30. Tickets are available now at Gold Star. Those are $5 tickets, man. Grab them now. They're going to be $5 for the next 2 weeks until night of show. And then I think they go up to like 18 or 80. I think, you know what? This show is like, it's the game of life. It's fun for ages 18 to 80, this show. So please grab a ticket, come out and have a good time. And save me from getting back on the fucking road. If this show ever just picks up, I can maybe do it maybe more than once a month. That would be great. And just get people in there and I could start doing more stand-up and getting out there because, I mean, I went back to lifting and Uber and get this. Fucking dudes, it doesn't change. I've been off 5 fucking weeks. It doesn't fucking change. First night, I get out there and it's really slow. Second night, I get out there on Friday. And, I had a fucking few things happen. And it's so funny. Everybody wants to, it's the Uber and Lyft passengers are split almost evenly. Half of them do terrible fucking things. And the other half of them want you to tell them stories about the people who do terrible fucking things. I don't, just never the twain shall meet. No, never once has anybody come in and said, hey, tell me a story about a terrible thing. And then went, well, I can fucking top that. And then, fucking dumped a whole turkey on my lap or something. Which actually, I'd be, if somebody gets in my car with a roasting pan full of turkey, I got to admit, I'm hoping something happens. I mean, you can't just transport a turkey across town. There's gotta be some ulterior motive for getting into the car with a hot turkey in a pan, right? I guess unless you're just a Thanksgiving caterer. Does that happen? Does anybody call and he only brings the turkey and he has to take an Uber? I've created a situation that I don't think makes sense on any level. There's a Thanksgiving caterer. He gets hired to cater an entire dinner for a family. And, not only does he not make any side dishes, he just makes a turkey, but he pulls it hot out of the oven and he calls an Uber. He has no transportation, no catering van. And what's going to happen when I drop him off? He shows up, he comes in with the turkey and like voila. And they're like, dude, where's the fucking potatoes and that green bean thing that everybody fucking hates? And then he's going to go, I don't know, dude, here's your turkey. And then he's going to dial me up and I'm going to bring him back home. What the fuck? I got to be honest. I want to do that now. I want to cook a chicken and get in a fucking car. How great would that be? And the guy just fucking pulls up and you're just fucking, don't eat the chicken because people have eaten in my fucking car and I want to stab them. Because but the smell of roast chicken in your car, dude, I might just put a roast chicken in my car for fucking fun. Just because that, like when they sell a house and they got fucking chocolate chip cookies in there? Dude, if I'm an Uber dude and my fucking car smells like roast chicken, holy shit, that'd be awesome. And I would and I gotta be honest though, if I get a fucking roast chicken in my car, the entire night, all I'm doing is dreaming of picking somebody up with smashed baby red potatoes. Oh, what a great move. You know what? I may just start traveling Uber with smashed baby red potatoes as a passenger, hoping to be picked up by somebody with a roast chicken. What kind of fucking weird coincidence, but what ultimate fucking pleasure would that be? You just happen to have a side dish and a guy picks you up with an entree? Holy Jesus. And I know Uber's delivering food now, but not like this. Not like fresh roast chicken. So stupid. Not like sage and rosemary and thyme and parsley and Simon and Garfunkel and all those fucking dudes in your car eating turkey. Let's have some poultry with some folk singers. God damn it, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do this fucking Thanksgiving. I'm going to get some poultry with some folk singers. Woohoo! God damn it, I'm going to have quail with Feist. All right. By the way, people have been telling me to turn the levels up, and Lily kind of straightened it out, and I'm looking at it now, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to try to fix the levels on this. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to do it right, but hopefully I don't blow your fucking ears out. So these two dudes, I picked these dudes up the other day, and they get in the fucking car. It's, who the fuck was it? Like, two 25-year-old guys, and they get in the car, and then they're like, hey, man, what's going on? And he says, hey, did you remember the bottle? And his buddy goes, no, I didn't. He goes, oh, man, go up and get it. He said, sir, can we wait? And I go, guys, that's not going to be like an open bottle, right? Oh, no, sir, we wouldn't do anything like that, we promise. I said, all right, because I can't have any drinking in my car. You do realize that. Yeah, no problem. So the one dude runs upstairs, and the other guy's like, so how long you been Ubering? And I said, almost a year. And he's like, yeah, oh, yeah, that's great, man. I've been thinking about doing it too. I said, oh, okay, well, that's if you want, I have a referral code if you want. And I felt so stupid saying that, because I'm not that guy, because I don't want to have any sort of commitment or be beholden at all to that job. Like it means something to me. But I mean, if I can make fucking $500 off this idiot, I will. Who knows? So his buddy gets in the car. And they get in, and he goes, all right. And I put in the address. And I looked and I go, guys, I don't mean to be this guy. Can I see the bottle to make sure it's closed? And he shows it. And I go, okay, great. That's all I care about. So I start driving, and I get about 1.5 miles. And the one dude looks at his friend and goes, hey, did you remember the party favors? And I got to be honest. I'm 48 years old. I know you're not talking about balloons. I know exactly what he meant. And the other guy just goes, oh, yeah, definitely. And he goes, well, break them out. And in my head, I'm like, they're not going to do this. And also, I got to be honest, it's California. It's fucking Hollywood. Maybe they did mean balloons. I mean, there was an off chance that at some point he was going to break them out and they were going to pull one of those poppers and streamers and confetti were going to go all over my car. And I'd be like, all right, I'm on board with that. We're a moving party. Let's have it happen. That sounds good. And at that point, it's kind of what I'm hoping for, because I know what party favors are. I used to bounce. All right. So, I've been in nightclubs. I know what the fuck that means, but I don't know if you just think I'm so, and again, when you take Uber, there's a lot of fucking English as a second language type people, a lot of Armenian dudes, a lot of fucking Mexican dudes, and that's fine. I got no problem with that. Everybody needs a fucking job, but you think you can get away with things because you don't think they understand you. Well, I got news for you. I have a very, very, I'm going to say, I'm going to say a working knowledge of the English language. Does that make sense? Fuck that. I have a great understanding of everything and what it means. I mean, I don't even say I've been around a bit, but I mean, what the fuck? What else could party favors mean? Like I said, unless streamers, confetti, and balloons are fucking coming out, and they did not have it. They forgot the fucking bottle upstairs. So sure enough, he goes, break them out, and I'm driving, and I hear, I don't even, like I said, I've been in a car. I saw a girl just go down on a guy. She just started giving her boyfriend a blowjob, or it might not have been her boyfriend. It might have been the guy she met in the bar that night. No fucking idea. And I was like, you probably shouldn't do that in here. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I should have asked, or whatever the fuck. It's like, dude, I don't, no, you should just not be sucking cock in somebody else's car. I mean, I guess, yeah, in the abstract, if you asked permission, that would make sense. And honestly, if you're playing that little game, doesn't asking permission to suck a cock work better for you in your, because now obviously you're very submissive. You've got that going on and you don't mind doing something like that. It's a turn on. So isn't it more of a turn on if you look at the guy and go, sir, is it okay if I suck his cock? I mean, because then you're bringing me in. Now I'm in the game and everything's, now you're actually you're throwing it on me and you're thinking, and I'm just going to say yes, because I'm immediately going to go, no, it's not okay. I'm sorry. You don't get to suck a cock in my car. Just like these dudes don't get to do coke in my fucking car. So sure enough, I hear, and I stop the car and I pull over. I go, guys, you can't do coke in my car. And he goes, oh, sir, no, we weren't. And I go, dudes, I'm 48 years old. I've bounced in nightclubs. I'm not. I didn't just get born in this fucking car. I know what party favors are. You can't do coke in my car. Okay, sir. We're really sorry about that. And like that was my favorite part. Like there was no. They were admonished like children, as if their father had pulled them over and just went, hey, guys, look, before we go to football practice, you should probably put your cocaine in your sock and not fucking do it on this ride. Because you know what? That's against the fucking law. It's bad enough you got a fucking bottle of Maker's Mark or whatever the fuck in your goddamn crotch, but now you're going to pull out coke and do bumps off your fucking hand? You're doing bumps in a stranger's fucking car and not even asking permission, not even offering. That's the thing. No, look, I'm not on board. I'm not on board with a roast chicken and I'm not on board with coke, but I'll tell you what, I'm much more likely to take a bite out of your roast fucking chicken than I am to take a bump off your fucking hand. But sure enough, you fucking bust out coke and you decide to do bumps in my car and that's going to be okay. The behavior on people, the attitude, the balls, the fact that they would even think that you could possibly go ahead and do that and it would be okay anywhere. Look, you're not in a bar, you're not in your house, you're not in the fucking bathroom, you're in a guy's car, you're in a back seat. If I'm a cab driver, I don't give a fuck. Again, I'm Travis Barbecue. You get out, I just hose off the back seat, blood, cum, sweat, whatever the fuck, it gets washed out the goddamn door. But no, I got a nice car. I got a Toyota Camry Hybrid. It's got a decent stereo in it. The last thing I need is for you to leave fucking coke residue in my back seat, and then a drug dog pulls me over and I fucking get sniffed out, and then I get thrown in the goddamn can, man. Nobody wants to get thrown in stir because you two fucking dummies couldn't do good coke in your goddamn house. I should have realized once they forgot the bottle, of course, they forgot to do coke too. That's what he should have said. Hey, do you remember the bottle? No. Do you remember to do coke upstairs? I didn't. Well, we should go back upstairs and replan this party. That's what we should do. Let's go ahead and go back upstairs and we'll come back down to the car. Let's go up and grab the bottle together and then we'll do coke together. Would that be good? And then we'll come down and get this guy's car and he can take us to where we're going like human beings.
You know, Max always says people skip the closing music. I say people love your closing music, so let's prove it to them. If you've listened this far, write me at heymexilistened@gmail.com and we'll send you a 40-year-old boy hearing commemorative Facebook profile picture that you better fucking put up, you dick. Sorry about the dick thing. Thing. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
I don't want you to miss any of that brilliance.